Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's presentation. This is The Job Hunt, Search and Apply. This presentation is brought to you by the Office of Career Services, Spiva Library, Suite 207. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, first I want to help you understand the job market and the modern job market in particular. I want to tell you how to search for opportunities. We're going to do some live demos. I'm going to help you recognize the parts of a job posting, and then I will show you how to effectively apply for opportunities. So without further ado, let's get started. First, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between a job and a career. I've got a handy dandy table up here on the screen, but some big differences between a job and a career would be that a job is more of like a part-time gig that you're just going there to collect a paycheck. You might leave work frustrated or angry, and there's not really a lot of room for growth, versus a career that's long-term, where you're there to collect experience, to grow, to learn new skills, and a lot of times you'll need a college degree for that as well, and that's why you're here. Now, the modern job market, there's a very different approach to getting a job than there was 30, 40, 50 years ago. In some ways, it's easier because everything's more accessible from our phones. We have our phones on us literally all the time. We can just pull it out of our pocket and pull up some jobs. But then in other ways, it's harder because jobs are requiring more specialization and just have more requirements in general. In the modern job market, your skills matter most. It's no longer about your job title or your tasks that you did. It's all about those skills because those skills are going to be transferable from one industry. The other thing about the modern job market that we have to contend with that they didn't have 50 years ago are applicant tracking systems. So these are computer algorithms that read your resume. They parse through the document to find matching keywords and skills. That's why it's really important to tailor your resume for each job that you send out so that you're including the proper keywords and skills. And the last thing about the modern job market has to do with the COVID-19 effects, because this is something that is very, very modern that we are totally feeling today. So definitely recommend that you start that search now, sooner rather than later. Pre-COVID, the average job search would take about 3 months. Now we're seeing that last just a little bit longer. And it can get frustrating, it can get discouraging, but you just got to keep going. Definitely need to do frequent follow-ups because there will be delays. So we are all have more on our plates, more to worry about, and as such, sometimes you may fall off a hiring manager's radar. So frequent follow-ups will help keep you top of mind. Now, it's kind of the big part of our presentation today are the job searching strategies. So we're going to go through a couple of things. First, you have to prepare. Just like for a test, you need to prepare. You need to do your study guide. You need to go over the essay questions, things like that. So preparation for searching would be to do a self-assessment. This is to kind of look inside of you and say, well, what do I enjoy doing? Or what is draining? There are certain tasks that are energizing to us and certain tasks that really just take all we have just to get through. So what are some of those things for you? You also need to reflect on your values and your personal goals. And there are quizzes online that can help you with this, or assessments online that can help you with this through ONET and the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But knowing what your values and personal goals are can help guide you in a search. And then what type of work environment do you want? If you are the type of person who can't sit still for longer than 5 minutes, sitting at a desk job for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, probably won't be your forte. So taking into account your work environment, what your values are, what your goals are, and then what you enjoy doing can really kind of help you guide you on this search. Now, talking about executing the searching. So we've prepared, we've self-reflected. Now, where can you find an open position? Well, first, University Career Services, hello, that's us. We're located at Spiva Library, Suite 207, shameless plug. There's also job search engines. So back in the day, you'd have the classified ads in the Sunday paper, you'd get it and take a look at all the jobs. Well, now everything's available at the click of a button. With those job search engines like Monster or Indeed or LinkedIn, you can search for jobs anywhere, anytime. And then there's also company websites. So if you know that you'd like to work for a particular company, or organization, you can go to their website and see what jobs they have there. Also, Hire a Lion, which is our program here at Missouri Southern. So taking you through a little bit of a live demo on that right now. We've got the menu bar on the left with all of our different options, looking at the jobs and internships that are available across the top. You can search for jobs and internships using the colorful button. And then we also have additional career resources, like an example of a cover letter or a reference sheet, in case you need to make those and it's 9 o'clock at night, you can't get a hold of us. But for right now, I want to take you through the search for jobs and internships. So you just click on the button. You can search by keywords, and it does remember those phrases for you. So taking a look, you can see all of the different jobs here. It's got job titles, the application deadlines, the ones that are coming up the quickest are usually the first ones that you see. And we can see that there are 139 jobs at the time of recording on Hire a Lion. And we can kind of take a look through those. Again, each one's going to have their own job title. If you think you like one, you can bookmark it or click that star to put it on the hot list. So then when you come back to it, you can go directly to that job. You don't have to search around for it anymore. And then you can also see down at the bottom it says applied, no. So we haven't submitted anything for that. And if we did, we would see it on that applications tab. So there's a few different ways that we can search on here or filter things down. So if we wanted to look particularly by position type for an internship, or we want to work on campus or part-time off campus, or we need a full-time job because we're getting ready to graduate, we can filter it to where we're just looking at that subset of jobs. And then you click that search button and you are good to go. The other neat thing about Hire a Lion is the company database. Think of this, if there's any old school people watching this, it could be like your old school phone book, and that's where you can search for different companies. And then we also have the document library. Like I said, if it's 9, 10 o'clock at night or on the weekend, we're not here in the office, and you need to get a sample resume or you need to prepare for an interview, all of those different types of documentations are going to be here in the library for you to look at. And then lastly, we see over here our profile. We can upload cover letters, resumes, additional documents. This is a dummy profile, so I don't have very much information in here. But the more information you can have in here, the better off you will be, especially if recruiters are searching for some of those specific things, skills, language abilities, things like that. So Hire a Lion is a pretty robust database that employers are coming to us saying, hey, we want to hire a lion. Can you post a job for us? So that's really the ins and outs, the nuts and bolts of Hire a Lion. Your account is already created for you. We use a single sign-on, so if you go to the Hire a Lion link on the MSSU webpage, you will see the same login that you do for Blackboard, for LionNet. It's all one thing. So pretty neat there. Now we have a few other reasons as well that I want to go through. Indeed.com is a really, really common one. So you can search for a job title, for a keyword, administrative assistant was one I was doing, or you could even search for a particular company. Like I said, again, if you know you want to work for somewhere specific, you can type that in, and then you can also type in locations. You can do local, and then you can also do national. So if you want to move up to Kansas City after graduation, you can take a look at positions there. For right now, we're just going to go with the general search for Joplin and not really limit any of those parameters, just so we get the most examples. So again, just like a Hire a Lion, we see the organization name, we see the job title, we've got those job descriptions, different companies are on here. Some of these are good, some of these are, because anybody can post on here, some are not vetted. You can search for date posted for the most recent jobs. If you'd like to, limit your search geographically, you can do that as well. The salary estimate, not that accurate in my experience, but you can also try by that. There's location, company name, and then experience level as well. So just like Hire a Lion, we can filter down exactly where we want it to be, or we can keep it as broad as we need it to be. You can go broad and narrow, which is the good thing. So for the example of this, we'll just take a look at Carthage because it's near Joplin. And this first one looks good, production supervisor at Ajinomoto Windsor Foods. You can apply with your Indeed resume. They're urgently hiring. So if I click on that, then just like HireLion, I can look at that job description, the qualifications, the experience that's needed, all of that. And then if you wanted to apply, you could click on that Apply Now button, and that heart button works a lot like the hot list button does, that star on HireLion, where you can, see that very quickly. So that's a little bit about Indeed.com. I recommend Indeed a little bit more for part-time type of things. And there are just, again, because anybody can post on Indeed, they're not vetted out or reviewed by anybody like we do for HireLion. Some of those may be funky posts or not legitimate or anything like that. So if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If there's a weird number, a weird email, or weird requests that you have to do for the job, probably not legitimate. It might be a scam. And if you have any questions on that, you can always get a hold of us. I've been in the job for about 5 years, and I've pretty much seen them all. Okay, the last one that I want to talk about is LinkedIn, and this is really relatively newer, one of the newer ones out there, and then especially since the onset of COVID early in 2020, I've seen use of this really proliferate. So LinkedIn, you've got your own profile, but then you can also search for jobs on here. And just like all the other search engines, you can search by job title, city or state, and based upon your profile, it's even going to give you suggested job searches. So based upon the skills that I've identified, these are some suggested things that it thinks that I would like to work at. And we can also see the number of alumni from Missouri Southern that are working at these organizations, as well as the number of our connections or friends, so to speak, that are working there. So we'll just go search Joplin. That UPS job I saw on Indeed as well, so there is some cross posting with some of these. But here we have, Freeman, we have Leggett, there's a lot of different ones. Now, whereas Indeed, you would just apply right through Indeed. LinkedIn, when you click apply, it's going to take you to that third-party website. It's going to take you directly to the company website, and that's really my recommendation. The best place where you should apply is directly through the company's website and not through Indeed or anything like that, just because there could be some weird things, some mismatched boxes that you fill in or something like that. So when in doubt, or when you can, definitely go to the specific company website to do it. Now, some of them only accept them through LinkedIn, so that's what you're going to have to do here. And you can choose to show your full profile if you have that filled out with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very great tool to find opportunities. It's a very great tool to connect with people in your desired field or industry, to find mentors, or just really see, who's working where, and that type of thing. So that's kind of taking us through the 3 major job search engines. HireLion, which is specifically operated and ran by the Career Services Office here at Missouri Southern. Indeed, like I said, anybody can post on that, so some of them are great, some of them are not so great. And then LinkedIn, I think, is really the best place when you're looking for that post-graduation professional position, what I like to call your grown-up job. LinkedIn is really going to be a good resource for that because a lot of professional type people are on there, and a lot of companies are looking for that type of ideal candidate from there. Okay, so let's move on. Now I talked a little bit about networking through LinkedIn, where you can link up with people and get to know them a little bit. But it's cliche, but it's true for a reason. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Because sometimes up to 80% of open positions are not posted first. They are filled by somebody who knows somebody, or a friend of a friend of a friend, or something like that. In fact, my position, when I first started working here in Career Services, I knew about it before it was ever posted on the website because the director of this office knew me and thought that I would be a good fit and encouraged me to apply. So that's just an example of, somebody that I knew that I was looking for a job, kind of knew what my skill set was, and thought that I would be good in here. So that's not to discourage you from looking on those websites, but that's just to say, if you want to broaden your horizons, you want to cast a bigger net, sometimes just trying to find people who work at the organization that you did that graduated from Missouri Southern is a good idea. Okay, now we're going to talk about the different parts of the job posting. So we talked about, identifying, kind of self-reflecting what we want, how to find those positions. Now let's kind of break down those different parts of the. So prior to the job being posted, HR has done a job analysis to answer the question, like, what do we need this person to do every day? So the job description is describing the day-to-day functions of the job, the duties and the responsibilities. So the job description part, which is usually the very top part of a job posting, is just, like the name implies, describing things. These are things that they could and would train you on. Just because you may know how to do something that they're mentioning, maybe they have a specific way that they want it done. So the job description is really there if you've done that self-reflection evaluation to see, if this says that I have to sit down most of the time, but I really can't sit still, I really don't want to do that, then I know that that job's not for me. So this is kind of where you can do like a compare and contrast of your list versus what they're saying, so you know if you like it and you want to go on. Now, this is an example of the essential functions, which again is just called, or could be called job description. There's a lot of different names for it. But this is really describing to me, if I wanted to apply for this job, it's at a bank. This is describing to me what I would be doing every day. So if I didn't like dealing with people, maybe I'm just not a people person, the very first thing on here says provides quality customer service. I know I'd have to be dealing with the public a lot. I don't want to do that, so I know this job's not for me. But let's say it is, and then I can keep going on and see, all of these things, would I like doing them, would I enjoy it? Yeah, okay. So then we go on to the next part, the qualifications. And this is like the bare minimum skills necessary to perform the job. Perfect candidate will have all of these skills, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, perfect candidate does not exist. No one's ever going to meet every single qualification. So this is my way of kind of encouraging you. If you see a job description and there's 10 qualifications listed and you only meet 6 of them, throw your hat in the ring, still apply, because this is, their ideal candidate would have all 10, that ideal candidate doesn't exist. So if it's something that you think you'd like doing, dude, go for it. Now this is the example of the requirements. Again, could be called qualifications, necessary skills. There's different names for it, but they're all telling you the same story. So the skills for this are customer service, oral and written communication, detail-oriented. Yeah, great, I've got all of those. 10-key adding machine. Oh, I've never done a 10-key adding machine before. Well, I do know how to use a computer though. I should still apply for this, even though I don't know that 10-key. If they really liked me and wanted me in there, that's something that they would train me on as well. And then those physical requirements, again, if you've kind of gone through that self-reflection of what you want to do, what you don't want to do, this can kind of help guide you if you'd like the job or not. So we've got the job description describing what the day-to-day would be, the qualifications, and then we have the third part of the job posting, which would be the application materials. So this could include the company's application, like that Freeman example that we looked at, or it could be submitting your Indeed or LinkedIn resume, just depends on the company. A lot of times you do need a resume. If you don't know how to make one, or if you need help making one, guess what? Career Services does that. So we can definitely help you with the resume, and then a cover letter as well. Even if a cover letter isn't required, I highly suggest and recommend that you submit one. First of all, you're just going to be showing the hiring manager that you're willing to go above and beyond just for the application. So then they're thinking, man, what would this person do if we had them in here full time? And they would go above and beyond. So it's just going to make you look better. And there could be different things that a certain company requires. If it's a graphic design position, you probably are going to need a portfolio or a website or something like that. But these are typically the most common ones that you'll see most of them. So this is an example from HireAlign where it has the application deadline, and then click the link Apply by Web, and that'll take you directly to that company's website to fill everything out. And I've got that on there twice, so for that. Okay, so now I want to talk about applying effectively. So we've kind of assessed the job market and what we want to do. We have found a great position through HireAlign or LinkedIn. I know what I need for the job to apply. Now I need to know how to apply. So let's go through that. So is mayonnaise a resume? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not a resume. But a resume is a one-page document that's going to sum up your knowledge, skills, and abilities, your KSAs. If you're taking a business class, maybe you've heard that term. But this is a really great way that you can kind of tell the story of what you're capable of. Now, Optimal Resume is a really fantastic program that we use to create resumes, and I'm not just saying that because my office pays for it, but it's free and it's cloud-based, so you don't have to worry about saving it on a flash drive or, oh, it's saved on my laptop and I can't pull it up on any other computer. It's cloud-based. So if you have internet and you can remember your password, you've got access to your resume. Next is that it does the formatting for you. Word can get funky when you're trying to format things. Microsoft Word is really great for writing papers. Microsoft Word is not great for creating resumes. By the same extension, Google Docs isn't great for creating resumes. Optimal Resume is something that does the formatting for you because there are some nuances to it. All of the sections of the resume are already laid out. It's like a fill-in-the-blank worksheet. You just double-click in there, type in your major, click Save. Double-click in there, type in your job title, click Save. It's super-duper easy. And there are dozens of templates to choose from. So you're not creating the exact same document as everybody else. There is some personalization that you can do for that. So my top 5 tips for a resume: you definitely want to keep it to one page. There are many benefits to that. When you are, out of college, maybe 5 to 7 years, then you can go 2 pages. But for right now, definitely keep it to one page. You want clean and consistent formatting so that it's easy to read. 0 errors. So as a hiring manager, if you come across a resume that has spelling errors or grammar errors, you think that this person doesn't check their work, they don't do careful work, and that somebody doesn't have attention to detail, and those are not good looks for you. So run spell check, have somebody else take a look at it, come to Career Services for a consultation. And then remember, the skills are most important in the modern job market, not the tasks that you did. So the skills are transferable. So you want to focus on, you can focus on high-level skills like communication, teamwork, leadership, or you could focus on technical skills. Computer science is coming to mind with programming languages. Those are very technical skills. And then my last tip is that you want to tailor to each position, because remember, going through that job description, the requirements could be different for every job that you're applying for, so you definitely want to make sure that your resume is matching up with what they're looking for. And then I want to talk about the BFF to the resume, which is the cover letter. So this is a one-page business formatted letter that provides additional reasons why you're the best person for the job. Way back in the olden days, in the 1990s, before internet was really a thing, you would apply in person for jobs. You can't really do that anymore, and especially now with COVID, you're applying for everything online. So the cover letter is like a conversation that you would have with somebody where they get to know you a little bit. You want to show your personality, and you really want to answer the question, why am I the best person for the job? You need to really convince the manager and really sell yourself. Feels awkward, I know. So there are 3 basic parts to the cover letter. First is the introduction, and these will seem pretty familiar if you've ever written a report, right? The introduction explains why you're interested in the position, sort of your thesis, quote unquote. The next is the body, and that's really why you're answering that question, why am I qualified, or why am I the best choice? It's really where you're going to sell yourself. And then the conclusion, just like a conclusion on a paper, it kind of sums everything up. Here you want to thank the reader, give a gratitude statement, thank you for your time and attention, I appreciate the opportunity, something nice, make them feel good. And then you want to include your contact information, so if they like what they see, they can get a hold of you. And I have my top 5 tips for a cover letter as well. So number 1, you want flawless formatting. You're going to get that through Optimal Resume because it's already done for you. There's specific business letter formatting that it needs to be in. Word doesn't do that automatically for you. So just be wary of that if you're using Microsoft Word. Again, you want 0 errors. Run spell check, read it out loud, have somebody else take a look at it, and then your best bet would really be to come to Career Services for a consultation. Since the resume and the cover letter are BFFs, the cover letter should really reinforce the resume. You don't need to restate everything, but they need to kind of go hand in hand. And then you want to show your personality a little bit. This is where you can use things like exclamation marks and things like that, which I love using. And then the last thing, again, you need to tailor this to every position. You don't want to send the same cover letter out to every single job because, again, they're looking for different things. And you don't want one blanket generic cover letter that says, hello, I'm looking for a job. Well, duh, that's why you're applying. So these documents really need to be tailored, and notice I'm not saying rewritten every single time, I'm saying tailored. They need to be tweaked, maybe a word changed here or there, maybe you write a couple of new sentences for the cover letter. Once you get the rhythm going, once you've done a couple, it goes by very quickly for you. Okay, we are at the end of our time together, so let's do a little bit of a recap. First, we talked about understanding the modern job market. There are differences, and if you have maybe an older sibling, mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa, who are like, well, back in my day, I just walked into the general store and said, hey, give me a job. That's not really the case anymore. But my number one takeaway for the job market is definitely keep with it. It's hard, it's discouraging, I've been there, I know, I've cried about it, I've laughed about it, and now I have a fantastic career that I absolutely love. So just keep with it. Next, we talked about how to search for opportunities. We really talked about Hire Reliant a lot, which is our own version of a job posting website. And then company websites, again, are a really good option. If you know where you want to work, definitely keep an eye on that. If you're a little bit, I'm not really sure, LinkedIn, Monster, Indeed, things like that will be good for you. Talked about the parts of the job posting, what you would do in the description versus what you already know how to do, which are your qualifications or your skills. And then talking about effectively applying for opportunities, you have your flawless documents that you've been to Career Services for reviews and consultations, and then you are tailoring those to each position. Again, you don't want to send one resume or one cover letter out for everything. Hiring managers will know, and they will toss you in the trash. Well, your papers, not you personally. All right, well, we are at the end of our journey together. If you have any questions, please let us know. Get a hold of us. You can email us. Email is up here on the screen. It's careerservices@mssu.edu, just our department name. You can also text us at 417-625-9343. With the text and the email, maybe a 24 or 48 kind of turnaround time on answers. And then you can always call us again at 417-625-9343. Career Services is located in Spiva Library on the second floor. We are here to help you. Our whole mission in Career Services is to help you prepare for and succeed in the job market, and that's really what we love doing here. So please come in, let us know if you have any questions. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And throughout the summer, we are here Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So thank you for your time and attention. You made it the whole journey with us, and just let us know what we can do to help you. Thanks.